Hey, Wellness fam. This is Dr. Latoya Wells with Wells Legacy Health and Wellness, welcoming you to another episode of Wellness Wednesday. We have some exciting news. We are in the office full time. That's right, Monday through Friday, full time. We're still offering our flexible scheduling. So if you know of someone who is in need of a primary care provider, who's looking to switch providers, or who just needs someone to partner with them on the health and wellness journey, we are here for you. So make sure you share the information. If you need someone, give us a call. We can be reached at 321-306-6755, or you can schedule yourself your own appointment at our website at wellslegacyhealth.com. We can't wait to continue partnering with our community and our new patients. All are welcome. We are family practice. We see infants all the way up to 100 plus years old. We are accepting many major insurances, so give us a call. Can't wait to see you soon. Again, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Dr. Latoya Wells, Doctor of Nursing Practice, owner of Wells Legacy Health and Wellness. I'm a family nurse practitioner who holds a doctorate degree. So that's where the title doctor comes from. I am not a medical doctor, don't want to be a medical doctor. I love the skin that I'm in and I love what I'm doing in terms of being a nurse practitioner who holds that doctorate degree. So let's jump right into it. As we are closing out the month of March, this will be our last Wellness Wednesday of this month. I can't believe that this month is almost over. It's going by so fast. But I do want to jump into our title tonight. We're going to be our topic tonight. We're going to be talking about our kidneys. How well are your kidneys? How well do you know your kidneys? Do you know when something's wrong? March is National Kidney Month, right? Kidney Health Month. And so we're going to talk about all things kidneys tonight and what we can do to make sure that we're paying attention to our kidneys and that we're taking care of them to the best of our ability. And so I want to make sure that you know some of the important things. But I have a question for you. When was the last time you had your kidney functioning checked? Not your weight, not your blood pressure, not your cholesterol, your kidneys. Like when was the last time you had your kidneys checked? Because the key thing to remember and the truth about our kidneys is that they're silent until they're not. And by the time many people realize and they find out that they have kidney disease, they're already in advanced stages. And so tonight we're going to shift that narrative, right? We're going to change that because I'm going to give you some important information that you need to know that you can follow up with your healthcare provider and that you can be aware of how to monitor and know what's going on with your kidneys. You all know I love my statistics. And so here's some information I want you to know. 1 in 7 adults has chronic kidney disease. So if you're sitting in a room with 21 people, there's 3 people in that group that have chronic kidney disease. And many of them don't even know they have. The top causes of chronic kidney disease or kidney issues is diabetes and high blood pressure, hypertension, which is why we work so hard to work with our patients who have high blood pressure and diabetes to get those things under control. So this means that many of us are walking around at risk and we don't even realize it. How many people do you know that have high blood pressure? How many people that you know who has diabetes? When you think about your family members, your friends, those in your circle that you know who have those conditions, think about it. 1 in 7 individuals has chronic kidney disease or kidney disease. So let's talk about the kidneys, a little bit of anatomy and physiology. I love A&P when I was in nursing school. So anatomy and physiology just kind of talks about the body and how it works and down to the cellular, all that. I get excited about this. But I want to just make sure that you understand that your kidneys are your body's filter system. Just like with the liver, your kidneys filter out things. They remove waste, they remove toxins, they help to balance fluids, they control your blood pressure, and then they help make red blood cells. And so if your kidneys are off, everything else starts to fill off. Your energy drops, your blood pressure rises, your body holds on to what it shouldn't hold on to and what it should be releasing. And that's where we begin to see swelling and things of that nature because our body's holding on to these toxins, and once those toxins begin to build up, our body will begin to respond. And so many times our body is whispering to us before it screams. And I just have a funny little story. I have my middle daughter gave us 2 babies, right? And so I'm Nani, my husband is Papa. And somebody be like, well, really, doesn't that make you grandma? Listen, we're not gonna get into that. I'm Nani. That's my title. They call me Nani. They have a grandma, they have a Gma. I am affectionately known as Nani. And so I had Raylan one morning before I dropped her off at school. And she's running around after I fixed her breakfast. Listen, I have not had to get myself together for work and deal with a little person in a long time. And so that morning really stretched me, but we made it through. She got to school on time. She got there in one piece, and I got to the clinic for my day in one piece. We made it through. But while we were in the kitchen and I was preparing her breakfast, or I think she was done with breakfast at that point, and I was just cleaning up and making my lunch to take with me to the office. And she says, Nani, I have a question. I need to tell you a secret, is what she said. And so I bent down and let her get close to my ear. And she said, I don't know what that meant, but she told me a secret. And I said, okay, that's gonna be between me and you, Raymond. And she kept running around the kitchen, and she had on a hoodie, a little jacket, and it had a hood that had the little ears. And so it made her look like a little bear. And so she jumped out like she was scaring me. And I said, the bear's gonna get me, the bear's gonna get me. So first she was whispering to me, and then she began screaming and roaring at me like she was a bear. And I began to scream. And many times our bodies will whisper to us, hey, something's not right. Sir, something's not right. Ma'am, something's not right. And we ignore it until it begins to scream at us. And so the signs that we often ignore are fatigue. That doesn't make sense. Like you've gone to bed early, you slept well, you woke up in the morning, you should be feeling rested and you're not. Swelling in your legs or your ankles. There's no reason why you should have swelling in your legs or your ankle. You don't have any issues with your heart. You don't know that you have kidney issues yet, right? But yet you have swelling in your legs and your ankles. There's changes in your urination, either the frequency, the color, or the how concentrated your urine is. And there's certain characteristics of individuals who have chronic kidney disease and what their urine looks like. And whether you know it or not, individuals who are at stage 4 kidney disease, many of them are on dialysis and they don't produce urine. And so urination is something that we don't even think about it. Our bladders get full, we go to the bathroom, we have to urinate. Well, with kidney disease, it kind of impacts that because our kidneys are not filtering what it should be. So we begin to hold on to all that fluid. And so if you think about it, when you drink water, it goes through a process where it goes through your body and then you urinate. Your kidneys are filtering things out and it comes out in your urination. And so when you have kidney disease, that's impacted. Puffy eyes in the morning. Now, some people just naturally have the under eye, puffy eye, but that is also a sign of kidney disease that many people miss. Muscle cramping. You think you work out, maybe you just didn't drink enough water, you have muscle cramping, or you wake up in the middle of the night, you get that Charlie horse. Many things can cause muscle cramps. And then brain fog. Oh, let's talk about the brain fog. As someone who is perimenopausal and who's going through and has dealt with brain fog, I've definitely attributed that to the season of life that I'm in. Never thought about it. Could it have been kidney disease? Because the toxins are building up in your system and it begins to impact your thinking and your brain. And so the challenge is these symptoms are often easily dismissed. And that's why we don't wait for the symptoms, we check. Last week we talked about being proactive and going in and get that physical exam early before anything, that wellness exam before anything is actually wrong. And that's why it's so important that we are proactive versus reactive when it comes to our healthcare. Because at the end of the day, we live with this body day in and day out, and we should know it better than anybody else. And so knowing your numbers is important. If you take nothing away from this talk tonight, I want you to take this information and I want you to hold it near and I want you to share it with your friends and I want you to share it with those that you love. When you go to your provider, ask for the following. And I talked about some of the things that we would want to ask and that should be done with those annual physical exams. Your blood pressure, your A1C, which is that 3-month average, and looks back at your blood sugars for 3 months and gives us an average. And it tells us whether or not your diabetes, if you are diabetic, if your diabetes is well controlled, if you are pre-diabetic, or it just gives us that number and it helps us to determine which which route we're going to go when it comes to your healthcare. The next one is creatinine. The other one is GFR, and then urine albumin. These tests, last three that I mentioned, are specific to your kidneys, and they're going to tell us a little bit more about your kidney health. So it's important that when you go to your healthcare provider that you ask about those. Let me say this clearly. If you don't know your numbers, you're guessing about your health. You're guessing. And last week we talked about that, how it's why it's so important that we're not guessing, that we know. And being preventative and proactive is definitely the way to go. And we don't want to guess over here. We want to take ownership, right? And the only way to know is if you know what's going on. That's just like someone who doesn't balance their checking account. Now, some people just got enough money where they don't have to balance their checking account. But others of us who have to make sure that we are on target and that we're on our savings goals and things of that nature, we're checking our accounts daily, sometimes more than once a day, just to make sure everything looks good and everything's okay. And we don't have to guess. If an emergency comes up, we know we have money over here in the savings or in the emergency fund for that. But when we're guessing, we don't know, and we're just kind of blindly doing things. And that's not taking accountability, and it's not taking ownership. And we want to make sure that we're taking ownership of our health, right? So now let's talk about what we can start doing today to help prevent lifestyle modifications and changes that we can help to kind of set ourselves up for good health when it comes to our kidneys. Reducing, when it comes to nutrition, we want to make sure that we are reducing the sodium. Watch the processed foods. Now listen, I guess there is a thing in my family where we have an affinity to salty food. I love crunchy, salty things. For me, I can have the extra sodium because my body doesn't process sodium like everybody else, but I still have to be mindful of that, right? And then also staying hydrated. Make sure you're drinking your water. Be mindful of protein intake. Make sure you're getting in the right amount of protein intake. And then you want to add those leafy greens, berries, and those healthy fats. If you can remember a couple months ago, we talked about some of those healthy foods that we can take in and get into our bodies, those good omegas, the good healthy fats, things like that can help. These are all things that we can change and things that we can do something about. Some individuals have a hereditary and a genetic factor. We can't change our hereditary, our genes, right? We can't change where we came from, but we can make those changes when it comes to lifestyle modification, things that we can change, right? Movement, regular activity supports blood pressure and glucose control. So it helps keep your blood pressure down, and it helps to make sure that your sugar levels or glucose levels are where they need to be. And then medication awareness. Be careful with frequent NSAID use. So the Advil, the Aleve, the Motrins, things like that. Because if you have kidney disease and you're taking these medications, it could cause things to be worse. So instead of taking Aleve or Advil or Motrin, maybe take a Tylenol or something like that if you're having some kind of pain that you need to take medication. Stretching is another thing that you can do to help, and so that way you're not having to take medication. But if you're at a point where you have to take something for pain, you injured yourself, then talk with your healthcare provider about what will work best for you. Another is stress management. Chronic stress, as we know, increases the blood pressure, which then impacts the kidneys. We have to make sure that we're doing things that keep us as calm and as stress free as possible. At our church, we have this thing, hashtag, here you go, Jesus. And so I find myself saying that, here you go. It's not mine. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to let you take it. And so it's not stressing me out. Small daily choices that we can make equal long-term protection. So if we make these small tweaks, these small changes right now in our healthcare, then overall we'll begin to see increase improvement in that, because we're doing things that are protecting our kidneys and we're stepping away from the things that are causing injury to the kidneys. So one of the things I want to talk about in terms of like our perimenopausal and menopausal women. As you know, I've been talking to my sisters. Hey, sis, this part is for you. During perimenopause and menopause, blood pressure can increase, insulin resistance rises, and inflammation increases. And all of these place added stress on our kidneys. So when you say, I just feel different, you're not imagining it, right? Your body is shifting, your body is changing, and your health strategy has to shift with it. The same things that we did when we were, in our teenage years and we were in our 20s, as someone who's getting ready to be 50. I'm 49.99 right now, but as somebody who's getting ready to be 50, I can tell the things that I used to do in my 20s and 30s, they're not necessarily working for me right now. And so I have to be able to adjust and tweak things as needed so that I can make sure that I'm on target with where my body is right now. Right. And so as we think about this, when you're going to your healthcare provider, we talked about some of the questions that you should be asking your healthcare provider when you go in for those annual wellness exams. But even when you're going in for your routine physical exam, ask, am I at risk for kidney disease? What do my kidney numbers look like? How often should I be screened? And what do I need to know now? What do I need to do now? What do I need to know now to help protect my kidneys? And that is conversation that you should be having with your healthcare provider. You should be getting those questions answered, and walking out of there with time to have your question asked. You are allowed to ask questions and you are allowed to advocate for yourself. But in order to truly effectively advocate for yourself, you have to be armed with this information and this knowledge, which is why I am here to give you this knowledge and this information about your health. And so, wellness family, I don't want you to wait until your body forces you to pay attention, because it will eventually. I've been dealing with some back pain, and I've been band-aiding and doing this and doing that and going to a couple of different providers and still having back pain. And I've been trying to avoid physical therapy at all costs. And yeah, let's just say I'll be making an appointment with physical therapy because my body's screaming at me. There's something going on and we need to figure out what it is. And so we don't want to wait until our body forces us to do something, because then the damage may have already been done. I got a little puppy right here next to me. He just totally took all my attention, his little cute self. He's such a stinker. Say hey, say hey to the people. Say hey to the wellness ma'am. Say hey, wellness ma'am. My dog is in here with me. But we want to make sure that it's not too late and that damage hasn't already been done. So early awareness is protection, and prevention is power, right? We can take our power into our hands when it comes to our healthcare, because we're being proactive, because we're looking at things ahead of time, and we're not waiting until a symptom is now screaming at us before we take action. So here's some things that I want you to do. My call to action to you is schedule your wellness exam if you have not already done so. Make sure that there's blood work included in that, and know your numbers. And as you guys know, at Wells Legacy Health and Wellness, we don't just treat our patients as a number. We partner with you to protect your future. And our goal and our mission is to help you live a healthy life. And by doing that, we are giving you the information, the knowledge, and tools that you need to be able to advocate for yourself and to create a legacy of good health. That's what it is all about. Our health is our wealth. And so if you take nothing from my talk tonight, schedule your appointment, get your blood work done, and know your numbers. This has been Dr. Latoya Wells with another episode of Wellness Wednesday. I'm so grateful that you're here tonight. If there's any topics that you are interested in learning more about, anything that you feel like I feel like I just need a little bit more information on this, please let me know. And I would love to host the Wellness Wednesday on that topic based on your suggestions. Give me feedback. How are we doing? Is this information informative to you? Is it helping you to be able to advocate for yourself more? Have you been able to share this information with your friends and your loved ones? Like, subscribe, and share. You can catch us on all the social media platforms. You can catch us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there. Can't wait to continue this discussion with another health topic next Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join, share, and let someone know that we're here. Can't wait to see you next time. Stay safe and be well. This is Dr. Latoya Wells with Wells Legacy Health and Wellness. Have an amazing day. Bye.